Okay, so I live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and for those of you who don't know, Canada has like a serious fucked up.
What the hell is going on in Canada right now? I am home visiting my parents this weekend for the holidays.
I just found out that the city that I live in, that I was born, raised, grew up in, is now the...
Did you know that even in a developed country like Canada, people are struggling to keep up with rising expense? Today we are talking about the cost of living crisis, a growing concern for everyday Canadian. From housing to groceries, everything is getting more expensive while incomes remain the same. Let's take a closer look at what causing like this and what can be done about it.
Okay, so I live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and for those of you who don't know, Canada has like a serious fucked up inflation problem right now. I just got back from doing groceries and I have $70 worth of groceries on my table right now, and I genuinely don't even know what I purchased that made it to $70. I had a fucking mini breakdown to my parents the other weekend. I started like crying, like tears. They came in because I was doing a budget and they were like, "How is it?" And I was like, tears. I'm working like 3 jobs right now. Like I got out of university like last year in December, and I have been fucking grinding it out ever since, just because the cost of living, and I'm not even really saving that. I'm not saving anything really, but the cost of living is outrageous in Canada. And it's just so, I was telling my parents, like, it's just so frustrating that like you do all the right things, you go to university and then you come out, you get a job, whatever, and you can barely fucking afford rent. I talk about it with my friends all the time, but we're just fucking sticking together right now because it's brutal out there.
I just found out that the city that I live in, that I was born, raised, grew up in, is now the 3rd most expensive city in the entire world. I live in Canada. You hear cities like New York being the most expensive. It's known to be the most expensive. But you know something is wrong when you live in Canada and they say, "Oh, you have freedom, you have this, you have that." But we're just living to work here. There's no enjoyment. If you just want to have an impromptu fun brunch or go out with your friends once in a while, you have to plan it. You can't just go out anymore. You have to actually plan and budget it into your money, or you will be in debt. We're actually probably all in debt. Probably 99% of us are in debt because the wages that we get in Canada versus what we actually are paying, it doesn't match up. No one can afford to live like we do. I was just talking to this girl from Colombia, and she said she went to LA. And she said their groceries are 1,000 times cheaper than ours. She went into this store called Ali, I think, and she said she was in a state of shock of how cheap your produce is, how cheap your meat is, how cheap it is to actually make a meal at home. You go to a grocery store in Canada and you want to maybe buy 5 apples, you're maybe paying like $6-7, I'm not even joking, for apples that are grown off a tree. I maybe will buy 4 products at a grocery store, 5, and I'm spending over $20, hands down. Even toilet paper that you use to wipe your ass with is being charged for like $10. And I'm like, I don't even want to buy it. Maybe charge $3, $4. No, minimum 10 for toilet paper. Our minimum wage here is $17 an hour. So if you want to go buy some toilet paper, that's more than half your hourly wage. If you want to drive, our gas is $2 a liter. More, it's minimum $2 a liter. It's going up all the time. I live in Vancouver and the rent is absolutely insanity here. It goes up every year. People have to live out in the burbs because they can't afford to live in the city anymore. If you want to be in Vancouver, they're charging for a studio tiny little shack in downtown over $2,000 a month for one person. People are working 3 jobs just to live in this city. It's actually crazy, and they're still struggling to pay their bills. They're just living paycheck to paycheck. They're not even getting to really enjoy their life. And at this point, it's just kind of like, are we having fun? I didn't sign up to work to live the bare minimum of life, just to scrape by. And this only happened when COVID hit. Before that, it was all tolerable, and then COVID hit and everything skyrocketed, and it's actually gone out of control. The homelessness is insane in the city. And I'm like, I feel you, because if I am not careful, I could so easily be homeless. So many of us could so easily be homeless. It's scary. It's a scary reality. Canada is not a great place to live anymore.
So you thought that your regular resume was going to get you that job, right? No. You have to come way more clutch than that, okay? Because we're in the GTA and people are getting very creative, okay? Right now, what's happening is employers are being offered 2 weeks of free labor. Yes, you heard me very clearly, okay? So my thing is, for someone like me, where I do not have the mental bandwidth don't have the coping mechanism and I don't have the resources to even entertain any type of offer to any employer, 2 weeks of free labor. I can't afford it. Ontario is too expensive for that. So my thing is, we all are going to have to learn either to do gymnastics, cartwheels, splits, whatever it is, to get on their radar.
The main reason why we're leaving Canada after living here for 6 years is mainly because it's not worth it anymore for us to be away from our family and not being able to visit them as often as we would want to because of the high cost of living and everything else around. When we moved here, it was extremely painful for our parents. I know it was, even though they were excited for us and were very supportive, but it was very painful for them to accept the fact that their kid is moving away pretty much forever and they will only be seeing them maybe once a year, maybe twice a year max. But they knew it's all going to be worth it because based on our qualifications and our brains, we could do more with what we have somewhere in a first world country that is so much more advanced. And for them to see right now how Canada is struggling and seeing on TV how Canadians born and raised here are crying and not really knowing how to cope with the expenses and with the prices and everything, and the fact that I have been waiting for a doctor's appointment for 9 months, and the fact that we cannot leave our noisy downtown apartment because the rent has gone up astronomically, and a few other major issues that are not really being solved at all. It kind of made us all wonder, why are we here now, and why don't we try to live the best years of our lives somewhere where at least you can be closer to your family and freaking have some sun. Canada is a great country and we will miss it a lot, but you gotta do what you gotta do for your own happiness, you know? And I'll be documenting my journey so I have all the memories here in one place.
Now tell me how this 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 and this. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 things cost me almost $100. Like, what is this? It's body wash, mouthwash, like, and this. I forgot to count this. So 10 things.
What the hell is going on in Canada right now? I am home visiting my parents this weekend for the holidays. I live in the West Village in New York City, the highest cost of living yuppie area ever in the history of the United States. I am never shocked when I get a dinner bill. I'm never shocked when I go on vacation. Nothing phases me. I've traveled all over the world. Tell me why I come home to Newmarket, Ontario, the suburbs of Toronto, and I'm shocked at the cost of living here. How are Canadian people making it work? Everybody involved with the economy right now needs to be fired immediately. We need to contact the UN and get a binding resolution here. Something sinister is going on in Canada, and I'm determined to get to the bottom of it.
That was our look into the growing cost of living crisis in Canada. If you are experiencing this too, share your thoughts in the comment below. For more videos on important topics like this, make sure to follow our channel. Thanks for watching.